right? Unlike the first tablet that was all made by Hashem, and everything will be clear to us. So it's a game change, right? That once they do that sin, so it's all different, and that drop down, they lose the level, getting to the level of like Adam Harishon before the sin.
Yeah, why do we keep messing up?
Okay.
So we first asked to no longer receive directly from Hashem after the first two the first two pronouncements, right? We asked because people. So then we asked that Moshe would be the intermediary.
Correct.
And then they tried to replace Moshe. That's why it's such a big.
Right. Okay. So the idea is like this. That's why I wanted to give you the background that this parasha again, Behaalosecha, is talking the Jewish people in the second year. And you have to understand, guys, that you're talking on a special generation, that you're talking about people that experience the biggest events and miracles ever. Mm-hmm. They experienced the miracle going out of Egypt. They experienced the event of Matan Torah. They're living in the desert. How they're living in the desert, guys? There's no, how you call the delivery company?
Providence.
Walt. No, the food. Walt. Right? The motorcycles of Walt don't work there. Right? The delivery. No Amazon, right? Can you believe it?
UPS, FedEx.
Right? So yeah.
No sunscreen.
Right. So how they're living, guys?
DHL.
Right? Well, they had manna come down every day. Delicious manna that comes down every day. They were able to do with it different things. And Hashem was taking care of the clothing. They didn't have to order clothes, right? Online or go to the tailor. The clouds of glory was taking care of it. So they're all living in a very high level. But here's the idea, guys. Even somebody that lives in a high level doesn't mean that he can sin. He still has bchira. That's one. Two, as you're going to see in this parasha, unfortunately, there's always evil people. Not everybody's perfect. So there's always a small group that creates troublemakers. And one of the problems of the Jewish people when they went out of Egypt, came out with them Egyptians that sort of converted, right? And Moshe accepted them. That's called Erev Rav. You heard this term once? Erev Rav means those are the people that came and Moshe accepted them. And actually Hashem was not exactly okay with this. Also in the golden calf, that was the first ones to start to create the mess and say, hey, Moshe, you see, he's not coming back, and they're promoting this whole idea. So just like in life, in many movements, right, that happens, it starts sometimes with people not with the good intention. They come for specific reasons that they have, but they promote it, and they have an agenda, and it goes on, and it spreads out, right, and it goes to the rest of the people. And that's what seems to be with the golden calf, and that's what's going to be over here. You'll see later on in the parasha, the Jewish people say, oh, it's why with this manna, we're sick and tired from it. We want food, right? We want McDonald's, we want pizza, we want this, we want that, right? But really, there was no reason that they should be missing something, right? You'll see in the verses very carefully, guys. You have to see the Torah is holy, and there's no extra letter in the Torah, guys. Forget about a word. There's no extra letter in the Torah. What is the halakha for a scroll that is missing a letter? No good. Why? Because every letter in the Torah counts and is significant. There's no extra letter in the Torah, and if a Sefer Torah is missing a letter, it's pasul. So you'll see very careful in the verses the way that they were complaining that was a fake complaint, meaning it was not really a reason to complain. We'll get to it, okay? So just before we start the parasha is to understand that we're talking in the desert. This is the second year, meaning a whole year from the exodus of Egypt, right, went by. They build the Mishkan, right? And they're going to be serving, the Kohanim will be serving in the Mishkan, and they'll be traveling in the desert. For how long, at this point, guys, at how long they are meant to be traveling in the desert?
Not long. 7 years?
2 years, they said.
At this point, a year's over. Listen carefully, guys. A year passed by with receiving the Torah, with making the golden calf. It took them, right, it took them 80 days till Hashem forgives the Jewish people. 80 days from the golden calf. That brings us to Yom Kippur. So already a half a year passed by from Pesach till Yom Kippur, right? And then after finally, right, a half a year, after, again, 80 days after the golden calf, finally Hashem forgives the Jewish people. That's on Yom Kippur. He finally forgives, and then comes the idea of building the tabernacle, the collecting material, right? Gold, silver, copper, wood, different kinds of wool. And the Beit HaMikdash the tabernacle is built a year after. That brings us to the month of Nisan. So here goes a year just like this. Now we're in the second year. So the Mishkan is here ready. The Kohanim are going to serve here. And when they are meant to go into Israel, guys, at this point, when they are meant to go into Israel?
Right after.
Just in a few days. You'll see, this is a fundamental idea, guys. The original plan was, you'll see in this week's Parsha, a few days the Jewish people were meant to come to Israel. Again, yes.
But then the spies.
Then what comes up? They started complaining. Oh, the manna is no good. This is not good, right? So it's a delay of a few months. And then comes the spies, that's the mega sin again, and is a delay of 40 years. So look how it works, guys.
Is the rice or not about the complaints delayed us for a couple of months? Or it's commentaries?
Well, you see it in the Torah that they started to complain. You see, it's old verses that you could show you that's Moshe. I'll show you in this week's Parsha. Moshe says to his father-in-law, hey, don't leave. We're about to come into Israel. So don't leave us before we go into the land. Just come. We are, a few days should be there. And the commentaries claim it had to be in 3-4 days. And again, the missing opportunities, right? And yep. Okay, so that's just the background to understand. Before we start that, guys, Hashem, you'll see that Hashem is going to command Aaron about the lighting the Menorah. One of the important things in a tabernacle, in a Mishkan, in the Beit HaMikdash also is the Menorah, lighting the candles, right? It was made of 7 branches. They face the middle, right? So there's a lot of ideas into it. But before we get into it, Moshe and Aaron are brothers. Why Aaron is a Kohen and Moshe is not a Kohen?
Moshe complained?
When?
The burning bush. Was talking to him?
Very good. Listen to this, guys. If you realize, you have the tribe of Levi that is really split to 2. Whoever's a descendant of Aaron, what is he?
Kohen.
A Kohen. Whoever's a descendant of Moshe, he's a Levi. Oops, what happened? So this goes very back and very important to know, guys. The first time that Hashem appears to Moshe in the bush, Moshe is by his father-in-law in Midian. He's a shepherd. And then he sees this unbelievable thing going on. Is a bush on fire, but the fire is not eating the bush. And suddenly he hears a sound that calls him and says to him, oops, come here. I need you. Right? And Hashem starts to speak to Moshe the first time. What does Hashem want for Moshe? What does Hashem want for Moshe at that point, guys?
And take out the Jewish people.
Talk to Pharaoh.
You will go talk to Pharaoh. I want you to be the messenger to go to speak to Pharaoh and tell him, let my people go. And what does Moshe say?
I'm severing that game.
I don't want to do it. Why me? Right? It's a whole negotiation that goes on there that Moshe doesn't want to do it. Finally, when Moshe agrees, he says, okay, whatever. Okay, I'll do it. But look what happens, and I want to show you that verse. 1 second. Yeah, open page, please. 308. 308, verse 13. So after the whole negotiation that Hashem appears to Moshe, speaking to him, asking him, please, you'll be the Redeemer, you'll go to Paro, speak to him, and Moshe really refused. He doesn't want to do it. Who I am, how could I speak to Paro, right? All the verses here. Finally, in verse 13, Vayomer bi Adoni, my master, shlachna beyad tishlach. Okay, you want, send it, I'll be the messenger. I really think that Aaron should be, but if you want, you wish, so I'll go. What does it say? Verse 14, guys, look carefully. Vayichar af Hashem b'Moshe. Hashem was angry with Moshe. And what happens is that he loses the kehuna. Okay? At this point, right? At this point, Rashi brings down that the Gemara says, usually when it says anger of Hashem, it leaves an impact. It leaves something as results of that. It's not just an anger that disappears. It means that it leaves marks that you can see, oops, something happened here. Hashem was angry at this point. So what is the marks that what is the marks of the anger that was left? That Moshe lost the kehuna. So being the priest Kohen. So again, you see again that Hashem had plan A. Moshe was meant to be the Kohen. However, he refused, he didn't want. He lost it and was given to Aaron HaKohen. Okay, so that's just important to know, have that knowledge, have that information, why till today, people that are Levi and that people that are Kohanim, right? If you're descendants of Moshe or Aaron, but it really starts with that Moshe was really meant to be a Kohen.
What about the other people in the tribe of Levi? Other Levites besides Moses and Aaron and their descendants are Levites also.
So
why only Aaron's coming and not like the other families of the tribe?
okay, so it's all the two sons of Amram, Moshe and Aaron. It all splits there, all starts there. Okay. They didn't have another brother. They had another sister.
But weren't there other families in like the tribe?
No. The Moshe and Aaron, the two brothers, only two brothers. They had a sister Miriam, but not a brother.
Were there other Jews from the tribe of Levi at the time?
All came from, of course.
Yeah. Hashem chose. Sorry, I didn't understand your question. Yeah, but Hashem chose the sons of Amram. Yes, that's right.
Why not the other?
So they're just Levites. Just Levites.
So if you're a Levi today, you're not necessarily.
Right. So it works this way. Only if you're descendants of Aaron, you'll be a Kohen. Otherwise, you'll be a Levi.
Which means you might not be a descendant of Moshe.
Right, but you'll be from the tribe of Levi. Right. Correction. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Pinchas he's also a descendant from Aaron?
Yeah.
Yes, right? But
Yeah.
he was before he was given the Kehuna.
Correct.
Oh,
That's
is it
right.
possible now that there are Jews that don't know they're Cohen?
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I can be a Cohen?
Unlikely.
Because honestly, we have
It's both ways. It could be somebody that doesn't know that he's a Kohen, and it could be Kohanim that really are not a Kohen.
I know you have the Cohen
So-
Y gene.
So it works both ways.
I mean,
Okay, guys, let's go to this week's parasha.
I have a 13 family tree.
Page. Why don't you just open the window there? Just let some fresh air.
That would be nice.
774.
774, guys. Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe lemor. Hashem is speaking to Moshe. Daber, speak to Aaron. Ve'amarta elav, and tell him. Behaalosecha et hanerot. When you're going to do the mitzvah of lighting the menorah, el mul pnei ha-menorah ya'iru, shivat hanerot. So the menorah had six. So the menorah was a special piece of gold. It was interesting. It was not built from pieces. It was a miracle that it was a piece of gold, and they took it off and kept it in a shape of a menorah. So it was made from one part, one piece. Okay, that was the menorah. It was 6 branches, 3 in each side. And the middle one, right, comes from the menorah itself, right? Like the tree. Just imagine that you have the trunk of the tree and the branches come out, right? So you have the middle piece of the menorah and 3 branches, right, come out in the sides.
And the other 6 just grew from it?
3 came, right? If you,
No, the whole piece came out.
It chiseled out a single piece.
There
of
might be
gold.
a picture in the end that has an appendix with all the pictures.
an end.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here.
I'm just saying, what did they start? They only started with a single.
It was made from, again, from one part, one piece of gold. It was not made from different parts.
There was no welding. It was one block of gold. sculpted
One,
into a menorah.
right, one.
No welding. Yeah. It was all one block. That chiseled.
Wait, what's welding?
Here.
No, welding is melting.
Okay, guys, you see the beautiful menorah? Okay, so that's what I meant. There are 3 branches going to each side, and you have the middle, right? You okay? You see?
Right.
Okay? So,
Extruded.
to where the fire, what the mitzvah that Hashem is saying, when you're going to light the menorah, when you're going to light the candle, right, it should be facing the middle. All, right, from 2 directions, it should be facing the middle. Okay? From the menorah was placed in the main sanctuary in the Heichal, and it was standing in this direction, like this. Where I'm standing is west, and over here is east, like this. Okay? Here where I'm standing is the Holy of Holy, and the menorah is standing like this, right, like this, from east to west. But they're all facing the middle candle. Okay? So this was, now the menorah was engraved with, the Torah calls it with buttons, with flowers, a lot of graving in the gold, but it was with cups you see in the top. So it was a beautiful piece of gold, piece of art. If you go in the old city, guys, they have a replica, they have a model of it, right? In the old city, in the middle of the old city, they have a model of it, a beautiful, beautiful piece of
It's not
art.
a model, it's an actual,
Yeah,
it's not just a model, it's an actual exact.
according to the measurements of the Torah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
the
but-
model wouldn't imply that-
Yeah, I meant the model, but that's not the menorah that was used in the Beit HaMikdash.
It's a menorah that is suitable to be used in.
It's suitable to be used in the Beit HaMikdash. Right. Right.
Wait, is it real gold?
Of course, model.
No, no, I'm saying the one that's over there, it's real gold?
It's I don't think the whole thing is gold. It's probably has a layer of gold. There's a layer of gold, but there's a.
Bulletproof glass.
Okay, guys. So,
Not a model. It is a model.
guys, is a flower. Every branch has a flower, a knobs, goblet they call it, right? So it's made from nice graving and in every branch. Now, what's the connection, guys, between last week's parasha to this week's parasha? Last week's parasha ended with the 12 donations of the Nisim, the presidents. We spoke about it yesterday, right? That the Torah even repeats it. How many times? 12 times. Each one gets his honor. Each one is getting credit because they came with they devoted to give it on their own decision that they want to do this. So the Torah is giving them full credit, and it's mentioned 12 times the same thing. So what's the connection, guys, that after the gift of the Nisiim comes this week, this parasha, the mitzvah of lighting the menorah. So Rashi brings down that after Aaron HaKohen saw all the gifts of the Kohanim, all the gifts of the presidents, the Nesiim that they gave to the tabernacle, he felt bad. Oh my gosh, I didn't bring a donation to the temple. So he had a bad feeling, oh my gosh, why I didn't do that? So Hashem wanted to make him happy and says, oh, don't worry, you have a different mitzvah. You'll be lighting the menorah. That's what Rashi brings down. So, right? The question is what, guys? That's what Rashi brings down. If you could see the first Rashi, Behaalosecha. Right? Lama nismecha, why it's connected. Parashat Menorah, the parasha, the talking about the menorah. Le Parashat Nesiim, to the presidents. Lefi kshera Aaron Chanukat Nesiim, when he saw the presidents bring all their gifts. Chalsha dato, he felt bad, he felt weak, that he wasn't with them. So Hashem says to them, don't worry, yours is even greater, you'll be lighting the menorah. The question is, first of all, why did he feel bad? Aaron HaKohen is doing a lot of things in the temple, right? Who's doing the service in the temple? Right? All the service he's doing, right? So why is he feeling bad? And what is Hashem making him happy with the menorah? What's unique in the menorah, guys? He's doing other things anyways, right? He's doing a lot of things. Who goes into the Holy of Holy on Yom Kippur? The Kohen. So he's the man, he's the only man on earth that is allowed to go into the Holy of Holy, right, once a year. Isn't that enough that he should be happy for that? No one else is allowed to go in. He does the Ktoret, the incense, right, that is a special offering, right? Some people, we say it, right, we say it today, and some people have a custom and a Kabbalistic idea, they say it from a piece of parchment, but it's a big thing, the Ktoret. The Ktoret had the power to stop when the Jewish people were punished. It says that Aaron used to run with the incense and throw it on them to stop the punishment of Hashem. So Ktoret is a big thing. So why is Aaron upset altogether? And what is Hashem making him happy with the menorah? So the Ramban says here, unbelievable idea. Hashem, he was happy, he felt bad because he said, this is all good when I have the Beit HaMikdash. When the Beit HaMikdash will be working and functioning, so I'm okay. But what will be for the years that the Jewish people will be in exile? What will be in the years that we won't have a Beit HaMikdash? So that's it, nothing? So the Ramban points out and he says like this, it's even more than that. What Rashi said, that Hashem said to him, you have more than them? Listen to this, guys. Hashem is telling him, don't worry, Aaron. Yours is even greater. The mitzvah of lighting the menorah won't be only when you have the Beit HaMikdash, only when you have the tabernacle in the desert and the Beit HaMikdash in Israel. The lighting of the menorah will go on forever. Even after the second temple will be destroyed and the Jewish people will be in exile, there will be a celebration for that menorah. And what is that celebration of the menorah? The story of Hanukkah. So that's what's so great about this, and this is a beautiful Ramban, guys. This is what making Aaron happy, that even the times of exile, that we won't have the Beit HaMikdash, and things are not great, but we'll have this big victory of the celebration that happened in the middle of the second temple. And as results of that, there will be Jews, the people will be lighting the menorah every year during Hanukkah, even in the times of exile, in the time that we don't have the Beit HaMikdash, right? There will be a continuity of the menorah. And that's what made him happy. So this is very interesting, guys. The Ramban is explaining that that's what really made him happy. It's not just about lighting the menorah in the temple. It's about the continuity. There will be great miracles even in the times of exile. That we don't have the temple, but we'll have the holiday of Hanukkah, that the Jews will be lighting menorah all over to remember the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash. That's what. Lighting the menorah and Birkat Kohanim, guys. Blessing of the Kohanim of the Jewish people applies to our days. And that's what Hashem is saying to him. Yours is even greater than them. Yes?
Why at this point in time would Aaron be thinking about times of exile, or that there would even be a time without a Beis Hamikdash? Shouldn't he assume, I mean, maybe he shouldn't assume that the Jewish people would stick with it. They have good service to Hashem.
Right, so it is a good question, but I think the answer is also clear. Moshe and Aaron know the Jewish people and know the human being and know that the Beit HaMikdash is not guaranteed. Right? We are now learning in the Navi, the first Beit HaMikdash that is being built by Shlomo HaMelech. And you're going to see the beautiful prayer that Shlomo HaMelech raises to Hashem. But it's all the idea, like we said yesterday in the class of Navi. The Beit HaMikdash is a beautiful place that the presence of Hashem should be there. It's like the body, and the presence of Hashem is the soul. And what Beit HaMikdash really to work is when the Jewish people deserve it, the soul will be there, the presence of Hashem will be there, and that will protect and guard the Beit HaMikdash, and that will make it to work. What happens when the Jewish people sin? Hashem leaves. What happens when Hashem leaves? Anyone could come in. It doesn't matter if it's the Babylonians, or it doesn't matter if it's the Romans that come and destroy the Beit HaMikdash. When the general of Rome was saying, hey, I destroyed the Beit HaMikdash, so came out a sound from heaven and said, you destroyed already something that was already destroyed. When Hashem leaves the Beit HaMikdash, so there's nobody guarding it, there's nobody protecting it, so what's the big deal? You came when the guards are not there, right? When there's no security, no guarantee to save the Beit HaMikdash. So what's the big deal? You're not a hero. You just took advantage of a situation that when Hashem is not there, it's very easy to destroy it. Yes?
Which was the first temple or the second temple there longer?
It's interesting. The first temple was on a higher level and stand for 410 years. The second temple, although it was on a lower level, they didn't experience all the miracles that happened in the first temple, but it stand for another 10 years. The second temple stand for 420 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, because there was a kind of a third temple, because Herod was basically reformed it.
No, that is the second temple. Herod helped to build the second temple.
Yeah, third temple is.
Third temple is the one that we're waiting for.
Yeah, actually.
That we're waiting for.
Herod did Herod tear down the second temple to rebuild it, or did he expand upon it? Because I know Herod rebuilt and redesigned.
Right. So
Built the mount that's there now.
it's a question: did he really break it down, or just renovated the outside? But he was helping to build the second temple. Okay, guys. So that's the connection. That's what the connection that the commentaries explain here, and that's what really made him happy that this will be forever. Okay, when you light this menorah, when is the mitzvah to light it? So this is This is in the evening, right? And this is one of the miracles, talking about the 10 great miracles that happened in the first temple. One of the miracles was the western candle. Okay, so I showed you before, guys. The menorah is standing, right, like this direction from east to west. What's in the west of the Beit HaMikdash? The Holy of Holy. So the candle that was close to the Holy of Holy, right, the extreme in the side, close to the west, that's called the western candle, was a miracle. What was the miracle? Never went out. So that's one of the miracles that happened in the first temple, that the western candle never went out. In the second temple, when they built it, they didn't have this miracle. And that was a sign Hashem is not exactly with you like in the first temple. When the great miracle of Hanukkah happened, when the Hashmonaim were fighting, right, the Greeks empire, and they won the war, the victory, it was not just a physical war, it was a spiritual war, right? A lot of the Jews were joining the Greeks' culture, dropping Torah and mitzvahs, and the Hashmonaim, though the heroes that are fighting the war, it was really a spiritual war going on here to keep the Torah and mitzvahs. So when they went to fight the war, right, and they won, that miracle came back, and they experienced again that the western candle never went out. And that's called, the Hebrew word for the western wall, western candle is Ner Ma'aravi. That was a sign, again, that Hashem is with us. And, okay, so if the menorah is standing like this, guys, okay, this is the western candle. When the Aaron HaKohen used to come to lit the menorah every night, what he had to do first, he had to get rid of the old wicks, take them out. You see the cups? He had to get rid of the old wicks, put new wicks, fill up oil, right, and then light them. From where he took the fire? From the western candle, okay? So every day in the first temple, guys, this miracle in the first temple and in the second temple, after Chanukah, when he came to light the menorah, right, he'll do the preparation. The preparation was, again, to get rid of the old wicks, throw them, put in new wicks, fill up the cups of oil, right, and then go to light them. So he used to light them, he used to take the fire from the western candle.
Which was always on fire.
Which was always on fire. And then, right, and then after, he used to fill up again, right, take care of the western candle, okay? Okay, so that's one of the miracles that they experienced, guys, within the first Beit HaMikdash. Again, it did not happen in the second temple, but after the story of Chanukah, that they went and fight and show that they care for the Torah, fighting for the God, fighting for the Torah, Hashem brings back the miracle. Have a great day, guys.